Hi guys, so we're going to be continuing on our Python 3 classes stuff today. Please go back and watch the other videos if you haven't already. Otherwise, we're just going to jump right into it from where we left off, more or less. So what we did last time was we created a class. That's our kind of template. And inside of that, we created our methods. Now, that was just the template, if you like. And then what we did is we made one of them and we said we're going to call it my character, and my character is going to be an instance, that is one version of the character class. And then we can call methods from inside of there once we have created it by using the full stop followed by the name of the method afterwards. So just to show you that working, I did that before. Okay, hi, nice to meet you. So it's going to say whatever we call from the method in there. So today, now it depends what programming language you're using. Sometimes it's called attributes, and I think that's what I used in the first video. But they can also be called class variables. So I think it's going to depend who you're talking to, but let's just use both interchangeably for now. There's probably a specific way in Python. I kind of have more of a Java background, but anywho. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a special method in order to make our class variables. So let's say we have to define underscore underscore init underscore underscore bracket, and then we need self, which we're going to talk about today, and followed by a colon. Now, it must have this name. This is the name that you must give it. And what this does is when we make our instance, this will run. So this is like the, well, it's called init for initialization. It means to set up, to make something. So for example, let's just put a print in here for now. Starting, and I need brackets. Basic stuff, Chris, basic stuff. Come on. Okay. So now, when I run this initialization method, or not when I run it, when it automatically runs here, so it's going to say this. Okay, so this is always going to run whenever we create a new instance. So what we can use this section for is, well, whatever you like really, whatever works, but most commonly what we're going to use it for to begin with is to make our attributes or class variables. So class variables must start with self, okay? Now self is referring to the instance. So self is the same as my character. So you're saying in this instance, and then followed by the variable. So in this case, I'm going to say name. Oh, I don't need brackets. I'm confusing myself here. And I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to be very Game of Thrones and say no one. So before it starts, he's not going to have a name, and we'll keep it like that. And I can also do self dot what else could we have? Age equals 0. Oops, 0. Okay, so we can have something like this, and this is going to create our variables when the instance has been made. So when we make the instance, these variables will be automatically set up. And the reason we use self is in reference to this specific instance. So these are going to change for every instance, and we'll see that in a moment. So we've created the character. Let's get rid of the say hi for now. And we want to know the character's name. So Java is very different here, and you have to use get and set methods, but thankfully Python's nice and tidy and clean, and we can just do print followed by the name of the instance, full stop, Oh, and we are going to say name. And hopefully, ta-da, it's going to print out the name. And we can change the name in a similar way. So maybe if we change it beforehand, we can say character name, just as we did with other variables, but we've got to preface it with the instance name. Name equals, oops, my J button's not working, there we go. John Snow. Okay, ta-da! And so this is going to say John Snow is now the name of the character, and this is going to print it out. Okay, so it should be easy enough so far. What we can do though is, because we're using this self bit here, it actually gives us more flexibility. So what we can do is we can start using this in other methods. So instead of just saying hi, nice to meet you, we can say hi, nice to meet you, I'm, remember a space to keep it tidy, plus, and then self, so that's my character, dot name. So now when we call that method down here, I keep doing that, my character dot say hi, bracket, bracket. So now when we call this, it's going to refer to this one in here. Now notice if we don't put the self in there, it's going to say, me no likey. Okay, so make sure if you're getting these errors and you can't figure out why, just ask yourself, have you used self in your classes? Because that's, guarantee you're going to forget. Now and again, I forget all the time. So that's usually your first go-to thing. Are you remembering to use self to reference the instance that it's in? Otherwise, it doesn't know. It says, I can't find name. Name could be anywhere. You have to be specific and say, oh, I want you to find the name of yourself, effectively. Okay, so, yay, okay. So, this initialization thing is what we've focused on, and we've got our class variables in there. Now, one thing I do want to show you, so that we're clear on instances, is that different instances have different variables inside of them. So in this case, I'm going to make a second variable, a second instance of character. So I'm going to make another character, basically. Now, the first character, I've told it to change the name to Jon Snow, and he's going to say hi. But what do you think will happen if I ask character 2 to say hi? Will it say hi, nice to meet you, I'm no one? Or will it say hi, nice to meet you, I'm Jon Snow? Ta-da! Okay, so it's going to say hi, nice to meet you, I'm no one. So these, it's kind of, remember our t-shirts. Our t-shirts can have different colors, they can have different attributes, but they're based on the same template. So what's really good about this is these things start to come into lives of their own, effectively. You can give different classes, different attributes, but they do the same thing, they have the same methods, but they're effectively different characters. And this is really good for saving on code reuse. Now that's quite a lot we've done today, but one last thing I want to throw in here is, just as part of this initialization thing, initialization doesn't have to just be for making our variables. We can also run methods from inside of it. So for example, if for some reason I always want to run the say hi method on startup, oops, just completely wrong there, I can use, again, self dot say hi. So this is going to say call from this instance of character this say hi method. Okay, so now that's going to run twice at the beginning, so we can see that there. Maybe I should just do a different method. Let's say we'll just do a setup method. It's just a normal method. It's going to just say print setting up. All right. So instead of saying hi, we can say self.setUp. Oops, what did I do? Oh, forgot my thingy. And so when I run it, it's going to say, so when this one's created, it's going to create these, and it's going to say setting up. When this one does it, it's going to create these and say setting up before we do any of this calling of methods here. Okay, so that's quite a lot for today. Let's just run through that very quickly in review. We've got a class, and in the class there's a special initialization method. The initialization method is kind of like when you turn on your computer. There are certain programs which run automatically. Windows starts up, maybe your antivirus starts up. That's what this initialization thing is. These ones are kind of like the programs that you're then going to call, or the programs that you're then going to run as you want them. You want to play a game. Okay, let's run the game. You want to open a calculator. Let's open the calculator. Even Python. Let's open Python. So this method is the auto run method. Inside of this, we're going to set up our variables, self.name and self.age. We have to use self to refer to the instance that we have created. But we can also use it to call methods from in here as well. Likewise, we can call the variables from inside of the class by using the self.name in front of it. And we can also call other methods using the self. From outside, we can access these by just using the name of the instance that we give, followed by the name of the variable. Okay, so that's quite a lot for today. We're going to move on and add in a tiny bit more, or we're going to maybe start using these in a bit more complex ways, I think, for the next one. But if you have any questions, please post them below, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as. If not, follow on.